SoCal here. Very cool. Thank you guys all for joining. Yeah, so I love to come on here and just talk about how we are energetic beings having a physical experience and how we all are guided, supported, loved, and led by our past loved ones, by angels, by spirit guides, but not first time, but still very new, possibly third or fourth. Very cool stuff. I'm glad to have you. Okay, Killian here is Midwestern here. Very cool. Thank you for joining. Yeah, and just talking about how we're all spiritual souls having a human experience, and how when we acknowledge that and when we can tune into the guidance from a higher power, from the universe, God, source, creator, from our past loved ones, from our angels, from our guides, like that's when life can become like so much more peaceful and grounded, and we can settle into this human experience. And I love to talk about, the signs and synchronicities that come through from us, from the divine, and also how healing the human parts of us can really help us in opening up to more divine communication, as well as just living happier and healthier lives. And I also do Spirit Led Mediumship Readings as well. So thank you guys all for joining. I also have a new podcast episode out as of tonight. It took me forever and a half to edit this one, but I am happy that it's out. And if you have been interested in what we talk about in these lives, you will love this. If you came to the chakra workshop for subscribers only last week, I basically took the highlights from that. Thank you for the gifts. I basically took the highlights from the chakra balancing workshop for subscribers that we did last week and made it into a podcast episode. So it just goes, this podcast episode, whoa. This podcast episode just goes really deep into each of our energetic centers. And I believe that our chakras, or our energetic centers, are literally the same thing as our nose, our ears, our eyes. Like, we have physical senses and then we have energetic senses. And the chakras sounds super woo-woo. I just did a post about this too. It sounds super woo-woo. It sounds way out there, but it's literally just our ability to energetically communicate with each other and with the divine. And these energetic centers build up energetic residue from the traumas, the wounds, the conditionings, and the programmings that we go through in our lives, and how our mind and our ego takes us away from our true self, our soul, and who we really are. And the chakras are how we process the energetic communication. And so clearing them out and balancing them can really help us in connecting with our past loved ones and God, source, universe, creator, angels, and guides, but also just living a healthier life. So I highly recommend the podcast episode to just learn a little bit more about that stuff and how to come into more balance. And yeah, I get numeric synchronicities every day. Very cool, Jen. I am totally on board with those. Hi, Marianne. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys all for joining Thoughts on Quantum Shifting. So there are so many different ways to say quantum shifting. And I think that from my perspective, I try to really make things normal and approachable for the masses. And I also feel that when we look at things from a quantum science perspective, oh, thank you so much for the bubble gum. It makes things a little bit, what is the word that I would use? I don't know. I really resonate with looking at things from a love perspective, that the energy isn't just this quantum field that we can tune into and shift, but that there's a frequency of love that is connected to my heart. And for me, calling it the divine, God, source, creator, universe, more divine and God for me personally, but you can call it whatever you want, is more in alignment with tuning into that love frequency that then facilitates the most amount of growth for me, not just shifting my reality or attaining a manifestation by manipulating the energy, and truly allowing my soul to evolve and grow in the way that it's meant to. So that is kind of my take on a very, very loose take on that. You hit me the nail on the head. I feel more spirits, past loved ones are watching over me than God. So Kelly, that is something that I like to talk about, because your past loved ones would not exist without God. would not exist without the universe or the creator or the divine. And I think one thing with the rise of mediumship, like on TikTok, and how many mediums there are, and how people, I just feel how desperate people are to hear from their past loved ones. It really makes the contrast of like our misinterpretation of divine communication very apparent to me. And so it's really important that you understand where your past loved ones are and how they are literally the channel for the divine wisdom and communication that's coming through. And so God, source, universe, creator is almost using your loved ones. This is how I personally look at it. God, source, universe, creator, the divine, is literally utilizing your past loved ones to channel divine wisdom through in order to get you to recognize it. So because we have such familiarity with our past loved ones' energy, we recognize it stronger. Like if we see our past loved one's birthday on a license plate 17 times in a day, it's like, oh, that's like my past loved one and they're looking out for me. So it is your past loved one looking out for you, but it's really God, universe, source, creator, utilizing that vessel for communication and support for you, just like divine source, God, creator, all the things, uses me as a channel for divine wisdom for you, right? So you could say like Cass has provided me so much support through my spiritual journey and information that I need, but it's not me. It's the divine God, source, universe, creator. That is what facilitates all of this and what allows us all to be present in this moment and feel safe and feel protected, and allows or provides the experience for our past loved ones to be involved in our lives. So thank you guys all for joining. Am I freezing? I get so nervous. I'm in a new room now. Hi, Jess. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Ashley. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. I love when new people come in. I do Spirit Led Mediumship Readings. Donna says, totally believe this. I love that. Tony, good morning. How are you? Ashley, that's such an amazing way to explain this. I'm glad it resonated with you. Jelly Belly says, I'm realizing I keep stuttering today. I'm realizing I've experienced Kundalini. Very cool. You did freeze for a few seconds. Okay, hopefully it's working now. Oh, what am I going to do? I have to move the Wi-Fi out here. But hopefully it'll work. Midwestern Desert Dweller, did something happen in your life that triggered your gift? Yes, I always had the gift. It triggered my awareness of the gift. I believe that everybody is a medium. Everybody has the gift. We're all energetic beings having a physical experience. How many times has everybody in this space right now kind of like known that your mom was going to call before she called, or received like a download about something that was going to happen the next day, or had a dream that something was going to happen the next day, or felt your past loved ones near you, maybe even seen them or whatever. We are all mediums and we all have the ability to communicate with our past loved ones. I think that just like singing, some people are more apt to do it professionally and be more helpful with it or provide it as inspiration and art for others. And it's the same thing with mediumship. We all have the ability to do it, whether you want to just talk to your own past loved ones or you want to inspire others with it. It's totally up to you. For me, I just was raised without any religious beliefs or spiritual practices at all. And I was kind of like a blank slate. For most of my life, I would say I called myself atheist. And then when I went to a Catholic college and took theology classes and just had a few experiences myself, I would say I was agnostic. And then throughout my 20s, I would have like weird synchronicities and things like that, called myself agnostic, but had no real deep belief in anything other than when I would watch sunrises and sunsets and I'd be like, there's gotta be more, and some crazy coincidences would happen. But yes, I went through a dark night of the soul, they call it, or just like a really hard period in my life where I kind of hit rock bottom and I recognized that I needed to change my life and just like become a better version of myself. And I couldn't keep living in the same patterns that I was kept repeating. And I wanted to shift and I wanted to be better. And that came from a relationship and just a burnout of my career and just a bunch of things all happening at once, where I started to get sober and started to just work on self-healing practices through shadow work and inner child healing. I was intuitively led to those things, and a couple of big kind of synchronistic things happened. And then I actually started to feel a spirit guide come to me. And I started to just be curious about like crystals and like things like that. I talk a lot about my story on my podcast, the Connections with Cass podcast. It's on Spotify and YouTube if you're interested. But that kind of really sparked me. Me hitting the darkest point of my life sparked me for finding the most light in my life. And I always say that no matter where you're at right now, if you are in a dark place, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, because it means that you have the opportunity to gain so much light through that and so much awareness of your light through that. And that the darkest times really do lead to the most growth and evolution of our soul, which is what we're here to do on earth. So many good questions. Thank you guys for joining. If you're new here, my name is Cass. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach, and I come on here to help bridge the gap between the spirit world and the physical world. I do Spirit Led Mediumship Readings, but I am going to take some time and just answer some of these questions because they're awesome. I love to just help people on their spiritual and healing journeys and become the best version of themselves in order to connect with your own past loved ones in a deeper way and to form a deeper connection with the higher power, God, source, universe, creator, and just live the best life possible, because this life can be very hard in our minds, but it really can also be very magical when we lean into our heart. Auntie, good to see you. I'm glad you're here for a couple minutes. Hope you're having a good weekend. I used to do this all the time as a child. Very cool. What if our loved one that has passed decides to come back? How would I connect to her? Lori, that's a great question. I do believe that our souls are experiencing, actually, gets a little woo-woo, but our souls are experiencing like multiple lives at once. At the very least, how I'll explain it is that I have connected with us. Our soul is infinite. And so like my higher self exists beyond this physical plane. And even aspects of me that have lived other lives are existing even in heaven right now. So the reason that I know this from being a professional medium is that when I connect to somebody in spirit, in heaven, the spirit world, whatever we want to call it, a higher vibrational plane of unconditional love and light is what I call it. Like a grandfather will be there, and he'll say like, my grandson is me, like a piece of my soul. Like I am reincarnated into my grandson, but the aspect of his soul that was the grandfather is still in heaven or the spirit world. So because our soul is infinite, it can exist in multiple places. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. How do you know what the number synchronicities mean? I can never figure out what they mean, Michelle. So they exist for two reasons, and they can mean two different things. One is that the actual numbers, there's a thing called numerology where each number has a significant meaning. And that can be looked up online. I personally use Joanne's Sacred Scribes to look up angel numbers. But sometimes it's not necessarily the numbers. Like I'll see just a lot of triple numbers. So 111, 222, 333, 444. Right now I just looked up, it's 144 people in the room. So when you're experiencing like those, and they're not quite the same number, but there's just a lot of patterns, to me, that just means I'm in a flow state and I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm learning what I'm supposed to learn. So I just trust that like I'm experiencing what I'm supposed to, I'm in a surrendered state and I'm flowing. And it's a good reminder when I'm seeing all of those that like there is more to life. Like wake up, Cass, there's more to life. Trust in the process of all of this and let go of the need of control and just allow what's meant to happen. So it's a good sign that you are in a flow state. What do you recommend for meditation? It depends, Carson, on what you're looking to do. If you are kind of new to the spirit world, or spirituality, I should say, I would recommend doing like 10-minute guided meditations to connect to each of your chakras. The heart chakra would be a good one to start with, as well as like 10-minute guided meditations to meet your guardian angels or your spirit guides, just to start to gain a little bit of a relationship with something beyond this physical plane. All right, sorry, I'm scrolling. What happens to souls that unalive themselves? Chris, that's a good question. The same thing that happens to every single soul. So even souls that aren't exactly the nicest people, and I'm not saying the people that unalive are, but any soul, even the souls that don't do good things here or decide to take their lives early, I believe ascend into a higher vibrational plane of unconditional love and light. That's been my experience. I've done thousands of mediumship readings at this point, and every soul that I connect with exists in this higher vibrational plane of unconditional love and light, which you can call heaven or the spirit world. And in this place, everyone is free of pain, sorrow, negativity, fears, ego. All the bad stuff is gone. And that contrast and that return to the frequency of unconditional love and light kind of sheds a lot of awareness into how things went wrong in the physical world, or not went wrong, but how, lessons were learned and different things could have happened in order to grow more, I guess is how I'll say it. And then there is the opportunity to do something next. So I think that the decisions that we make in this life and the lessons that we complete then affect how we move forward in the evolution of our soul in the next steps for our soul. But we all ascend into a higher vibrational plane of unconditional love and light. That's my understanding at this point. It could change, but that is my understanding at this point. God isn't benevolent. I disagree, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. My life is hard right now while things ease up. Trisha, what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. As I said earlier, some of the darkest moments in my life led to the greatest light and a huge shift in my life to become a professional medium and step into my purpose. And more than that, like beyond that, just like literally feel better in my day-to-day. But the shift that happened for me was not that life got better. It was that I started to commit myself to healing, to doing things differently, to actually learning my lessons instead of repeating them, and trusting in the process of life rather than pushing against it and resisting it, and healing out the traumas, wounds, conditionings, and programmings from my past, which it's hard to do. How can I connect with my fur babies that passed last month? Kathy, I believe that your fur babies are in heaven or, the spirit world, just like our human loved ones. And you can personally, communicate and talk to them in the same way that you would do your past loved ones for people. But trusting that they're in a good place. And there's a lot of animal communicators, actually. I do animal readings as well. If you're interested, you can book a mediumship reading and ask to talk to animals. But yeah, all of those things. We live one life here at one time. No, Lauren says. Agree to disagree, Lauren. I think the cool thing about spirituality too is that I believe that we're all experiencing our spirituality, whether it's a different religion, whether it's a different perspective, whether it's a different, whatever it is, exactly as we're meant to in order to learn, grow, and evolve. And so I'm not here to shift any of your opinions. I'm just here to state mine because this is my truth right now. And there is no dictionary. There is no, there's no ChatGPT. There's no Google for this. So really it's so cool, I think, that we all have the autonomy and the power to connect in a way that makes sense for us in this lifetime. And we learn from that in the way that we're meant to. And while I might not agree, or maybe I do agree with someone, everybody's journey is their own. And I think that's so beautiful. I have not heard of the egg, actually. Chris, I love your question because I think a lot of people struggle with people that they know that did take their life early, and it's scary because there's a lot of different, so again, there's a lot of different opinions even about, thank you, Laura, about where people go after they pass, and especially for people who choose to end their lives early. And so it's something very real that we have to talk about. I'd love to talk about anything that's kind of scary. And that makes you worried, because I think when we can clear out the fear in our lives, that's when we can really do well in life. Does anyone ever just on a live that just pulls at you? How do you handle that? Not really dream another sunset. I really feel that not really at all. Because I started my spiritual journey with a healing journey, and I feel like they're one and the same. I am pretty objective and grounded in my connection to spirit. And so it's very unlikely that I would be pulled in a different direction or super distracted by either a human, in the chat, or spirit in the universe. I'm sorry that your husband did that 16 years ago, but Melvin, I hope that, this conversation provided you some peace, that he's in a beautiful place of unconditional love and light. And, just, yeah, in a beautiful place. And that, the next steps for him, he might have to learn another lesson again, maybe not, I don't know. But trust that he's in a beautiful place. Okay. And he's still with you too. What does it mean when you think of someone random and then run into them? So that's you utilizing your energetic senses. Katie, you have to listen to my newest podcast episode because I talk all about that. We're all mediums, we're all psychics, and we all have energetic communication capabilities and are able to tune into the frequency of energy beyond this physical plane, and kind of tuning into that, like thinking of them is divine communication, that you're going to see them, and tuning into that alignment. And yeah, we're doing it all the time, but we're just not conscious of it. But sometimes some things are so obvious that it actually does kick in our conscious mind, like, whoa, wake up, like this is really happening. I will never message first. Love good psychics, have believed in them for forever. Prayer Girl, it's so good to meet you. Thank you for joining. I do Spirit Led readings. I'll do one later on tonight. I just wanted to answer all these good questions. Oh, Mike is here, 111 on the dot. Good to see you. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you're new here, my name is Cass. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach, and I come on here to help bridge the gap between the spirit world and the physical world and answer any general questions you have about spirituality and healing, as well as do spirit-led mediumship readings. Princess Sarah says, sometimes it seems like my loved ones aren't around. I never feel them, never come forward. Princess Sarah, there's probably... So you're in here a lot, right? I'm getting confused because I'm on at a different time. So there's like a lot of new names, which I love, but I feel like you're in here. So when we go through grief and or we're just stressed out about being human, it can block our ability to feel and sense our loved ones around. So doing healing work through shadow work and inner child healing, I think, is super helpful to help start to feel your past loved ones around you, and also forming a deeper connection. As I said at the beginning of this, like, a lot of times we're relying on our past loved ones to provide us the signs and synchronicities and divine communication, but the divine is actually responsible for all of our experiences here. And the beautiful wisdom and information and guidance and love is channeled through our past loved ones, just like it's channeled through me right now. And so it's not necessarily, yes, it is an aspect of me that, and you can be grateful. I'm just using myself as an example, but be grateful that you stumbled upon this live and you picked something up from it and like, oh, Cass, it's great. But really, I'm just a vessel for divine communication and divine love. And I am being used, and it's the most beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful for it, in order to provide peace and healing in this lifetime. But our past loved ones who are even in a higher vibrational plane than us are that as well. And so their love for us comes from the love from God, universe, source, creator, and that divine wisdom is being channeled through them because we are familiar to them and we have that relationship, and we'll be more likely to pick up on something that we're familiar with and have a heart-to-heart connection with than something that's a little bit more harder for us to understand on this physical plane. Kylie says, when I saw your 111, there was 111 people in the room. Kylie, that's so cool. Very cool. Hi, Kayla. Good to see you. Hi, Kayla. Good to see you. Thank you guys all for joining. I do feel blocked. You got to open up, Sarah. You got to open up. Yeah, it's been a while though. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. Since what's happened to me, I feel that I'm awakening. How can I develop in a safe way? Chris, start to do healing work for sure. That's the number one thing. When you start to open up spiritually, I think the best thing to do is start journaling and start healing. That way you're receiving the divine communication and love in a way that is really helpful for you and doesn't affect your it just grounds you into this lifetime while experiencing higher entities of light and communication and love. It just grounds you into this lifetime while experiencing higher entities of light and communication and love. And then Sonia Choquette's workbook, the second edition, Psychic Pathway, second edition by Sonia Choquette, can be really, really helpful. I think she explained things like so well. And there's good like exercises in there too. And then my podcast could be helpful too. So the Connections with Cass podcast could provide you some support as well. Hi, Kayla. I think I said hi to you already. Connection and dreams, 1000%. Dreams in our imagination are the portal for our divine light and communication to come through. Hi, Christy. Good to see you. Kathy is new. Welcome. So Jill, I answered general questions about like spirituality and healing, not anything specific to your situations, but I do Spirit Led readings. Okay, heart to heart. My name is Ruka. What you got? I do Spirit Led readings. I'll do one in a minute. Journaling is a good thing. I agree. It helps. Good. What was the name you said? Oh, Sonia Choquette. The Psychic Pathway second edition. I'll try to link that in my TikTok showcase if I haven't. I also have the shadow work journal linked in my showcase. So there's shadow work is a process of self-healing. I'm just going to describe this really quick before I do a spirit-led reading. Shadow work is the process that I used in order to heal. So I kind of hit rock bottom, knew I needed to get sober and needed to change my life. And I started just diving into self-healing. And shadow work is the process of going into the root cause of how your personality has changed from who you really are due to the traumas, wounds, conditionings, and programmings that happened to you as a child, typically as a child, but also throughout your life. Going back into that root cause, healing your nervous system response that's not reflective of the true nature of the experience, and healing your ego in your mind's thought loop that's not serving your highest good. And chakra, like understanding how your energy works is a part of that. And I kind of developed my own way of doing shadow work that I actually teach a class on now. So there's a podcast episode about the shadow work and the ego that's super helpful. But what was I going to say? I also teach a class the new class is starting this Thursday, actually, so October 2nd. We meet once a week on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for the gifts, the likes, and the follows and the shares too. So yeah, on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I teach a class on shadow work, which is just how to get back into who we really are. Like a lot of times we're reacting in ways that aren't reflective of the love and light that we are inside. A lot of times we have anxiety. A lot of times we have irrational fears. We have anger within us, and getting back into the root of where those stemmed from our childhood. And sometimes it's major trauma. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just some sort of conditioning that your parents did or whatever. But going back into that inner child, healing that inner child, stabilizing your nervous system, rewriting kind of your narrative for yourself and becoming a lighter version of yourself is what shadow work is all about. And I believe that makes us become a clear channel in order to receive the divine communication in the way that is best for us. Whereas when we are blocked and when we are carrying energetic residue from the past experiences that didn't serve our highest good, that we haven't quite cleared out yet, when the divine communication comes in, we can doubt, or we can feel angry, or we can feel really sad when our past loved one, brings us a memory, rather than receiving and enjoying the experience and utilizing it for our highest good. So shadow work just helps us clear out all of that. And the class can be really helpful for that too. So if you're interested in signing up for that, my website is connectionswithcass.com. And there is a link in my bio. I have to be careful on TikTok how to say it. And we meet once a week and we do a little bit of journaling, a little bit of meditating. It's more like a visualization exercise. It's not, you don't have to be good at meditating. I do a lecture during it. And then at the end of the session, I just send some Reiki healing in order to help you process everything that came up energetically for you. So that starts October 2nd, this Thursday. And yeah, I also offer private mediumship readings and soul readings. Soul readings are a reading that helps you kind of gain understanding of your true self when we've been taken really far away from it in this human life. And I have you set an intention at the beginning of the session as to something that you'd like to learn more about yourself, whether that's like a deeper look into your spiritual growth, whether that is, helping through major transitions in your life, or like you have a new relationship, or you're leaving a relationship, or you're moving and you have a new job, whatever it is. Setting an intention at the beginning, and then we do mediumship for half of it, where I connect to your past loved ones and provide evidence that it's them, but also messages regarding the intention you set. So insight from your past loved ones as to how to move forward. And again, I think that's super helpful because it allows us all to have that like familiar voice. And it's like, oh, they know me. So they like, it's just like an extra layer of familiarity and opening of the heart because you know them and they know you so well, that allows that divine communication to really be received, which is why I love doing that in the soul readings. And then the second part of the soul reading is an energetic assessment for you. So I intuitively go into each of your chakras and feel where you might be a little bit blocked, where you might be really aligned, and how to best utilize both of those things and heal the blocks in order to live the best life possible regarding the intention that you set. So those are the soul readings. And then I have one-on-one coaching sessions available too, and the shadow work class on Thursday. And then Mike, who is in the chat, moderator Mike, and I are hosting a retreat the third week of November in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So all of that stuff is available through the link in my bio. Chris says I do meditation and it helps, but a couple of times I've seen myself meditate. Very strange. Oh, that's interesting. I'm excited to see you do a reading. Okay, I'll do a reading. Sorry. I do spirit led readings. So essentially I just open up to spirit. For me, I like go into a waiting room in my imagination and somebody steps forward, and I trust that the universe, God, source, creator is going to provide us exactly what we're meant to experience in this time together. And that the person that steps forward is divinely sent to us, and it's way better than me as a human trying to pick somebody. That's just cranberry juice. I don't drink. I feel like it looks like I'm drinking wine while I'm doing this, but I don't do that anymore. And I'm not against alcohol, but I don't recommend any sort of mediums drinking while doing readings. Anyways, so yeah, I just open it up to spirit and trust that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. Carson says, I get a lot of dream visits and I'm actively aware that they are dreams and the people are dead in real life. That's beautiful if you allow it into your heart and just receive the guidance and love. Thank you guys so much. Alanis Morissette, I'm sure you've heard this, but I couldn't hold it. Every single day somebody says it. It's so funny. It's been since I was young too. Where are your podcasts? They are on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you guys for the For You page and all the things. Do you believe in alchemy? Yeah, I do. Absolutely, I do. In so many different ways, in physical form and in spiritual form and all the things. So close to 11K followers. Yes, we are. Mike is always up on the followers. I love it. How do you know if they're hearing you? They are always hearing you. We may not hear them, but they are always hearing you. That's just a universal truth that I stick to. So yeah, let's do a 77K goal, and let's do can we do a 44 share goal too? Where do you find the soul reading to book? Lisa says it's connectionswithcass.com, and then it's right in the services section of my website. There's also a link in my bio. 55 times, Mike says, I love it. Mike always goes like a little bit higher than me. Thank you, Auntie, for putting that website in there. And thank you guys all for liking and sharing and following. A lot of strange things has happened. I just hope they will come through very tough times. Trust that they are with you regardless of whether they come through tonight or not, okay? All right. So I'll start to connect, and then I'll check in with you guys to see who understands the soul that's stepping forward, and then I will relay messages from them to you. Can your past family members see the things you're doing, like all the things? Lisa, messages from them to you. Can your past family members see the things you're doing, like all the things? Lisa, yes. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's not weird because like where they are, they don't care. They literally don't care. Like there's no judgment, there's no perception, there's no fear. And they more just like, they just want us to be happy. And that's really kind of what their motive is. They don't have a motive. They're just there. Like there's no judgment. It's very different than being here. So 111 in the room again, angel number. We love it. All right, guys, so I work as an evidential medium, so I'm going to provide evidence of who is stepping forward, and then I'm going to check in with you guys to see who knows the soul, and then we'll go from there. I do ask that after I provide some evidence, I'll ask you guys who can take 85, 90, 95, or 100% of the evidence. So if you guys can just let me know percentage-wise in the chat, it helps me a lot. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and start to connect. Thank you for all the likes and the shares and the follows. We got to 52 shares. Can we get to 55 shares? And the likes are going up too. Thank you guys so much. So close to 55, so close. We're at it. We did it. We did it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I'm going to start to connect, and then we'll see who steps forward. Okay, I have a woman stepping forward, and I would say she's around the age of like 54, 55 when she passes. I'm usually within a few years of that. So I see her as being like on the thinner side, average to thinner. She has long curly hair. I feel like it's like a light brown or a blonde color. And she is in a sweater and jeans, which is usually indicative that she would have lived somewhere with 4 seasons. I'm also hearing an S name as significant, and okay, I do feel like she does take responsibility for lifestyle choices that led to her passing. The way she looks to me, she's like very shaky, and I feel like alcohol would have been something that she would have had trouble with, and that this led to health complications that then led to her passing. I also feel it's actually a combination of alcohol and prescription medications, because I saw a pill bottle as well. I also feel that she had gone like a significant period of time sober and then gone back to it like a few years prior to her passing. And let me just see if there's anything else. But she says her passing is like an accident of some kind. I also feel like she has at least one daughter, and I'm going to stop there. If you guys can put in the chat, if you can take 95 or 100% of the evidence. Melissa can take most of it. Okay. Let's see. I'll have Melissa come up into the box. Oh, thank you for all the gifts and the likes and the follows. Melissa, are you able to come up into the box, or do you want to stay in the chat? Thank you for the gifts, Mike. Oh my gosh, so many. What is happening? How do you, I am in other people's lives and I don't even know how to send the gifts. Oh my gosh. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you can take a woman around the age like early to mid 50s that was on like the thinner side, would have lived in 4 seasons. Can you take all of that so far?
Yes, the only thing that's a little off is the age.
Okay. Would you understand she had long curly hair too?
Um, at one point, yes, but she did switch her hair up a lot.
Okay. And is an S name significant?
S name for
An
her,
S, like
no.
no?
No.
Okay. I don't think that I'm with you then. So, but it could be a postcard. So, I'm gonna check in with someone else and then I might come back to you.
Okay.
But how old is this your mom?
Yes.
And how old would she have been?
44 when she passed.
Okay. Oh, let me keep going for a second just to see. Because would you understand that her passing was like she would have been sober for a significant number of years? She
Yeah.
started to use again, but then her passing is she takes responsibility but says it's an accident. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you have a sister as well, Melissa?
Yep, and she has passed since also.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. And but the only thing that got me was the S name.
I know.
Like a Sarah or a um it could be a last name too, but just hang on to I'll keep going for a second and see. And would you understand that I feel like this woman's personality is pretty like go-getter. She actually shows me herself like mowing the lawn, and that she could do like kind of like she could do whatever she set her mind to. But do you have a significant memory of mowing the lawn or something yard work?
Definitely yard work. We were in the city, so like she used to hose down like the cement little area, like the backyard area and rake
Yep.
it, and even though it was mostly cement.
Okay. Um, but she's very like tenacious, I guess is the word that I'll use.
Yes, never
Okay.
had a man. She was always independent. Yeah.
Like she could do everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Can you connect the number 8 to her or August?
Hmm.
It would be like the 8th of a month or August is significant.
Hmm. No, not that I can think of right away.
Okay, let me just see in the chat if anyone else can take
All of it,
this
yeah.
information. Yeah, let me go check in with everybody else. I'll do a recap, but I might come back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, Angel can take 95%. Okay, awesome. Angel, are you able to come up into the box or do you want to stay in the chat? And thank you guys for all the likes, the shares, and the follows. Okay, Angel, if you can just press the 2 guests at the bottom.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I'll just do the recap if you can say yes or no, okay?
Okay.
So a woman in her early to mid 50s that is kind of a smaller frame. She definitely has like a sweater and jeans on, indicative that she would have lived in a place with like 4 seasons. And she does have curly hair, long, I thought it was long curly hair. I do feel like she really like does her hair is kind of how it feels. I feel product in it. And
Hairspray
that
for sure.
hairspray, okay. And S name is significant. Can you take all of that so far?
Yes, I can. And she was 54 when she passed.
Okay, that is the age I said originally. And would you understand that she had definitely some issues with alcohol and prescription medication,
Yes.
and that her passing, it was like she had been sober for a while and then started to use again. Like, I feel like it was over a year before her passing. Um, and then there was some sort of like, she takes responsibility for what happened, but that it was an accident. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And then as I kept going, I also felt that there was some sort of memory or experiencing with a lawn mower or taking care of the lawn. Does that make sense?
Yes. So my father-in-law worked off. And so the house responsibilities, outdoors was left to her. And
Okay.
there was like nothing she couldn't do.
Okay. Because yeah, I was feeling very like tenacious, very like I can do it all kind of feeling. And I feel like that's kind of how she approached her addiction. This is like strange how this is coming in, but when she starts to use again, I did feel like that was related to somebody else's loss. Would you understand that she went through a loss that kind of like triggered her to spiral in a way?
Yeah, she lost her dad.
Oh, okay. And but I feel like when she starts to drink again or starts to use again, she's like, she has that same feeling like I can keep this under control. Like it's not a big deal. Like I can do anything I set my mind to. And but it just doesn't work out in that way. Does that make sense?
It does.
And would this be your mom?
It was my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, okay. And does she have a daughter? I was sensing too.
She does. She has one daughter.
Okay. And her name is Shirley? Last name?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And she does show me, and I think this is her sweater, but I'm just seeing it kind of separate from her, like a white knitted material.
I'm sorry.
Would this be something you have?
Yes, that's very funny. It is a sweater that she knitted for my husband, and I've never gotten rid of it. And
Oh my.
I'm like, it just hangs in the closet. He's like, I'll never wear that because
I'll never wear it.
No, but we don't get
Oh my
rid of
gosh.
it because she made it.
That's so funny. That's so funny. So acknowledgement that she knows it's still in the closet.
That was
It's
awesome.
special. And okay, let me see what her message is for you too. Oh my gosh, she makes me feel, I just felt like such a release in my throat chakra, actually, that you have been expressing yourself in a different way, or have like, I don't know if you've done healing work, but I feel such a release of pressure in my like throat, my chest, which is indicative to me of like the throat chakra, and also like some anxiety, but like that you've turned a corner and you're like you're free of something, or you're expressing yourself in a different way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like she has been helping you with that. And she is just like cheerleader, like, you go, girl, like, you got this, and is very, very excited for you to feel better. It kind of feels like. And do you have a daughter as well?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, she makes me feel like whatever has happened, I won't get into details because it's live, but whatever has happened has also like facilitated growth in your kids, especially your daughter, or like allowed her to see something really valuable that she can learn from, I guess is how I'll say it.
Yes.
Does that make any sense?
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, she is with you. She's been helping, I feel like, and she's very proud of you and excited for you, and really excited to see the family flourish. And she sends her love, and I will leave you with her love and thank her for stepping forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. So thank you guys all for joining. Who was the first person that came up? Melissa? I'd be interested to see if you could take that message too, because there are no coincidences. And so I feel like if you get a postcard, which is when you can take a lot of the information, but it's not quite right, like not all of it resonates, that a lot of times your loved ones led you here to, number one, like be open up to the fact that this is real. And number two, to maybe receive that message too. And when I do spirit-led readings like this too, I think that the messages that come through are oftentimes like the way that the universe provides us all with the experience that we're meant to experience. A lot of times the messages can be taken for a lot of people that are watching. So thank you for the gifts, guys, and thank you for the likes and the shares and the follows. So Melissa, I hope, or I'd be curious to know if you could take that message too. And know that your mom is with you regardless and loves you. So thank you guys all for joining. Let's do white hearts in the chat. I love the white hearts. Let's do white hearts in the chat for the white sweater. For, oh my, Angel, there we go. To show our support. And if you guys are new here, my name is Cass. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach, and I come on here to help bridge the gap between the spirit world and the physical world. If you are interested in booking a private reading, you can do so at connectionswithcass.com. Melissa says, yes, and I have plenty of people on the other side. Maybe somebody else will come in. Beautiful. Not beautiful that you have plenty. Well, yeah, it is beautiful that you have lots of loved ones supporting you from the other side. And know that for all of you that are in the chat looking to hear from your past loved ones, know that they are 1000% with you every single step of the day, and that you are a medium. You have the ability to communicate and connect with your own past loved ones, and feel the most beautiful love from them. But it does sometimes require some healing work, and sometimes some work on your grieving process, and really opening up to receiving that love without being overwhelmed by it. And Auntie, my name is Cass, not Ashley. Ashley will never message you first. Block them. I think you must have been in Ashley's live before this. But thank you guys for joining. If you would like to book a private reading, you can do so at connectionswithcass.com. There's a link in my bio. I do mediumship readings, soul readings, and one-on-one coaching, and then a shadow work class that helps you get to the bottom of who you really are and the best possible version of yourself. And that is starting on Thursday night of this month. So I get upset that my mom doesn't ever come to me. So it's not that your mom's not coming to you, Michelle. I do believe that most of the issues with receiving communication from our past loved one is on our human side. And it's because that we are energetically blocked from wounds and traumas and grief that accumulate within our energetic system that need to be cleared in order for us to receive the divine communication coming through our past loved ones, and doing healing work and really working through your grieving process and coming into an understanding of where your loved ones are and that they're in a beautiful place of unconditional love and light. Letting go of any anger, resentment, or guilt or fears regarding their actual passing can all help you open up to the love that can be received through them. Brooklyn, my mom passed away today. Would she have felt the pain of her death? Brooklyn, I'm so sorry for your loss. But know that as soon as they pass, as soon as they start to transition, they see the light and they see their other past loved ones that are greeting them, then it's like this beautiful, beautiful reunion. Their pain, their suffering is completely gone. It's like that. Literally, it's wild. And it's all just an experience. You know how you can wake up from a dream, even a scary dream, but you're like, oh, that was, or a weird dream. Like you're like, oh, that was weird. Why did I do that in the dream? That's kind of like how it is when you wake up in the spirit world, and it's beautiful. So know that she's in a beautiful place and that she's still with you too, and that she's reunited with all of her past loved ones and free of any of the hardship that she experienced here on this earth. So Tara says, Auntie, you are awesome. You are so sweet, helping everyone out in their lives. Agreed, Tara. Thank you so much, Auntie, and Mike, and everybody that helps me on the lives. I always know when a loved one passes before I get the call. Why is that? My dainty homestead. It's because we're all energetic beings having a physical experience, and we're all receiving divine communication all of the time. We all have intuition. We all have the ability to connect with energy beyond this physical plane. And it's just part of us. Oh, thank you so much for the gifts. But we block that off, and then we only receive like the super strong things, which I believe are representative of kind of like how we've been taught to receive divine communication based on our religious backgrounds and like our spiritual history, as well as our trauma, wounds, conditioning, and programmings. And I know for me, about 2 weeks prior to somebody passing, I would always get this really weird feeling before my spiritual awakening. I was like always very intuitive, but I didn't put everything together. And I was kind of only experiencing I was experiencing divine communication in weird ways that I now recognize was reflective of me being unsettled within my energetic being, and doing the healing work and clearing a lot of that out and coming into a higher vibration within myself. I receive a lot of divine communication and inspiration and love and light, but I don't have that same scary feeling anymore. So if you're interested in developing your intuition more and developing your energetic capabilities, and coming into a greater awareness of that, I would highly recommend doing so in order to start to receive the things that really help us. I don't think personally, unless it's part of your divine path, which I'm not here to judge, and I'm not here to say one way or another, but for me personally, like that feeling of knowing when somebody was going to pass, like it wasn't really serving my highest good. It woke me up, which is the whole point, to push me into what I do now, which I think is serving my highest good and the highest good of others. But it was like a learning curve there, and I definitely had to do healing work in order to get here. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Tara. Do we like this background or do we like the flowers better? I think I like the flowers better, but it was so hard to get this curtain up behind me. So I was like, I have to, literally, I have to use it. If they accidentally took their life, do they go through a phase of regret? It's not really regret on their side. Regret is very human. So fear, negativity, pain, sorrow, suffering, guilt, regret, that's all human. That's all very dense energy. Up in this higher vibrational plane of unconditional love and light called the spirit world or heaven. Excuse me. This is just cranberry juice. I just feel the need to say that as I talk about sobriety and all the things of living the most grounded and centered life, as well as doing mediumship readings. If you guys see somebody drinking wine and doing mediumship readings, that would be not good. So if they accidentally took their life, it's not that they regret it. It's just an awareness. It's kind of like in a dream. Like, do you regret doing something in a dream? No, you're like, oh, that happened. If I hadn't done that, this would have happened. If I did do this, that would have happened. And you can kind of look at all aspects of it. And from their perspective in this higher vibrational plane, they can really see every single piece of energy, like every other human that made that happen, and all of the different things that led them to making that decision, or led them to that place where that thing happened, and it's just an awareness and like a learning thing. Kind of like if you look back at a dream, you're like, oh, I would do that differently next time, or I missed that lesson there, or that's on my, it's not even I missed it, but I have to, and this is in conjunction with the creator, divine source, God, universe. It's like, see, this is the love and light that exists here. This is how you didn't tune into that. They're kind of like, we gotta keep working to get you back to oneness, to get you back into a higher vibrational place. And that is the evolution of our soul that we come here to experience. So I hope that makes sense. What about the impact that it had on their loved ones here, Tara says? That's a great question. I believe that there, again, is like an awareness of how their poor choices led to their loved ones suffering in some ways on this physical plane. But again, there's like no judgment of themselves. And so I wouldn't call it regret. I would call it awareness, personally. An awareness of how things could have gone differently to facilitate more light in their physical lives and the light in the lives of others. And there's definitely awareness of wanting to provide light to their family members that didn't have great relationships with them or had bad things happen to them because of their decisions. But it's just an experience from their perspective, and their full love and light can help us as we move forward. I think it's really hard to forgive the people that, did things that hurt us, whether that be even somebody taking their own life, right? And when that happens, it's so hard to let go of that in our heart space. But really, like, they are beings of unconditional love and light that can provide like help for us in this life, but we have to be open to receiving it. And the only way we can be open to receiving it is if we let go of the negative human kind of characteristics and qualities that exist here through the healing work, which I recommend doing shadow work and inner child healing personally. Hope says, I used to have nightmares of my brother's passing weeks before it actually happened too. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hope, but it sounds like, oh, my light went off. It's time to go. I believe that is a sign that you're really intuitive and to explore your spiritual gifts and energetic communication capabilities. I always dream of people in my life who have passed. Is that just normal, or do I have a pathway? So I'm a medium and I never have visitation dreams. I actually had one during my nap today. I've had maybe 10 in my entire life. We'll call it 11 today. So we all have the ability to have a pathway to the divine. And that, what was I going to say? The darkness here is distracting me. We all have the ability to have that pathway open for us, and dreams are one way of that happening. I experience my past loved ones coming to me more in like meditation and in my day-to-day than in my night dreams, but that's just me. So I guess that with this light going off, it is time for me to go. It's also 2 a.m. here, so I'm on the East Coast. So I'm going to head out, but there is a new podcast episode out, the Connections with Cass podcast, on YouTube and Spotify. And I offer private mediumship readings, soul readings, and one-on-one coaching in the shadow work class on my website at connectionswithcass.com. There's a link in my bio. And if I book a mediumship with you, are we able to ask questions during it, or is it only being told? Capri said it really depends on the reading. I do ask if you have any questions. The questions, no, I'll say no. Typically no. I kind of get what I get as far as evidence goes, and then relay messages. At the end, sometimes I feel called, if your loved ones kind of prompt me, to ask if you have any questions regarding like energetic experiences, but to ask for specific evidence isn't how it works. So it's kind of nuanced. But in the private mediumship readings, we can either, you can ask to talk to certain individuals like directly, or we can do spirit led like I do on the lives here. So, okay, thank you. I'm going to book for Monday. Awesome. I would love to do a reading for you. Meredith is here. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Meredith. Good to see you too. Good night, Tara. I hope I answered your question. And somebody lost their son. Hi, can I get a message from my son or my husband, please? Marga, know that just like any medium can connect to you, to your family members, you can also feel your husband and your son. And the best way to heal from the loss, especially when you have 2 close family members like that, is to start to form a new relationship with them in spirit and form a deeper connection with God, Source, Universe, Creator. And I send my love and light to you. If you have experienced the loss of a child between the ages of 0 and 18, essentially if they were born on this earth to 18, if you've experienced the loss of a child, I do free, thank you for the gifts, Janet. I do free readings for those who have lost children. I have to quantify it in that way, and just so I have the energy to help as many people as I can. And so if you and if you'd like a free reading for a child, submit a contact form on my website, connectionswithcass.com, and say, hey, Cass, I lost a child between the ages of 0 and 18, and I would like a free reading, and I'd be happy to do one for you. So yeah, it was so nice to meet all of the new people and see some familiar faces as well. And thank you guys all for joining. Lisa is here too. Thank you for the chirps or whatever we call those. And would that also be for a baby who was stillborn? Yes, Tally, I would do that for you. Absolutely. And I would do it for everybody who's had a miscarriage. I would do it for everybody in the world if I could. I just have to quantify it a little bit, but I am happy to do that for you, Tally, because I know that losing a child is just so unnatural and against like every concept of time and stuff that we have here. So I try to give back in any way that I can there. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys all maybe tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys. Do you have to wait a while? It's to your discretion whenever you feel ready. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good night.